Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about, you guessed it, from the title, the age-old question. I say age-old, it's really just a year-old. I mean, I guess that could be an age. So, we're going to answer that question of how many people more than half died from Thanos' snap. So it's a very hard question to answer because it involves a lot of math and the probability rates and slightly random. Because you can imagine if automatically half of people on Earth faded away, then that means that it could definitely have more than half, you could imagine, because people driving cars and plane pilots and all this stuff, you have all these crashes and bystanders involved in the crashes, and doctors performing surgeries and stuff. And so, me and my cousin, Red Rogue X, you can get a link to his channel in the video description below, we went over a very hardcore theory involving a lot of math. We used, we calculated the amount of cars that would crash and the people in there. Well, no, I actually did the cars, but he helped me with the planes, which was a bit harder. So we just calculated the cars and the planes, and then we added bystanders and doctors and the minorities in with the rounding. So we just rounded the answer up. So and if you're wondering about the Avengers Endgame trailer breakdown, I will be doing one of those. I'm going to try and come out with it next week, hopefully. So let's get started. So, the setting promotes a question, which is, how many more than half of humanity died from Thanos' snap? Now, how do we answer that? We use the Thanos snap chain reaction casualties theory. Hardcore, nerd, geeky stuff. So, this first calculation involves planes. Now, as you can see, on the left, we have the facts here. We put all the planes that are normally in service, and we put the number of planes in service just for the heck of it, and the seating of all those planes. We also have the amount of planes in the sky at any given time, and how many people will need to disappear for the plane to go down, which is 4. The pilot and the co-pilot, of course, and then 2 people near the cockpit that usually know how to fly. Airlines usually try and position 2 people like that near the cockpit in case of emergency, so it's a 1 in 32 chance, because, I did not mean to hit that, because we can tell that, there have been some pretty heroic plane saves in the past, and so for it to definitely go down, there's that. And it is some higher probability rates where some might still go down even if there isn't that many, or some won't go down, but it's on average. So now what we do here is we add up all the seating of all the planes to get 1,977. We divide that by the number of planes to get 247, with the remainder of 1. We'll just toss him away because he's not that important. And we get the average number of people per plane. So now we go back to the amount of planes in the sky at any given time, and we know that 1/32 of those will go down, so we divide 6,000 by 32 to get 187, which is the amount of planes that will go down. So 187 multiplied by the average number of people per planes gets 43,945. So that's how many people will go down from plane crashes. So that, plus chain reaction ground casualties, equals 50,000. Now, keep in mind this is just an estimate, but this is a lot more accurate than the next one. So the next one uses cars. Now this is even more of an estimate, more of a guesstimate actually. I can't get an average of how many cars are on the road at any given moment, so we just use our own inaccurate one. So we have 1,200,000,000 cars on the road every day, and an average of 2 people per car worldwide. Now, in order for the car to crash, though, the complicated part is both of those people need to fade away, which means the people in the car wouldn't get hurt. Now, if you look at the plane seating, it's all about the same, and we can tell that because planes are virtually like the same size on seating, and so it's a closer average, and there is more people on there, but the percentage. So, whereas with cars, some will have one person and some will have 10. We can't get an average of, or we can't get an amount of how many Ford Transits are on the road every day, and how many sedans and 5-seaters and 2-seaters, all that kind of stuff. So we just take that average and assume that every car has 2 people in it. Now, we take that and we know that about a quarter of the cars on the road every day will actually be on there at any time. So we divide 1,200,000,000 by 4 to get 300 million. Now, that's the amount of cars on the road at the time of the snapping. Playing with words there. Oh yeah. So, now, but we know that many people aren't actually going to die from just car crashes. There has to be a reason, and we divide that by 2 to get 150 million, which is the amount of people that will die from the snapping and will survive the snapping, only to be wiped out by car crashes. Sad. So, we can guess that about 2/3 of those will die from the car crashes, just because approaching intersections and things like that, as in the interstate, is actually fairly improbable that a deadly crash will arrive on there. It might swing some vehicles out to the side and stuff, but everybody is generally moving in the same direction, and you can't generally drift across into the other lane into oncoming traffic, so it's a bit safer. But the problem with that is, in the unlikely event that that actually does happen, it's going to be a huge crash and kill a whole bunch of people. So we can just get as that it's 2/3. So we divide 150 million by 3 to get 50 million, multiplied by 2 to get 100 million, which is the estimate of number of cars that will die, number of cars that will die from will crash from the snapping. So we now just have to add it all together to get 100,070,000 people, more than half. Not good if you didn't guess it. So there are some slight inaccuracies in here. Well, not slight. There's a lot of inaccuracies in here, but overall it's accurate enough to get a good estimate, because in the trailer we didn't actually know who went, we didn't get a hugely good look at the outside world, so this is just an estimate, and most people estimate that it'll be kind of post-apocalyptic times. So, thanks for watching the video. Be sure to subscribe for more awesome videos like this one. If you want to find out more about the MCU, just ask me any questions, or ask Google, or subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.